Quick recap. We've designed this new collection device using a 5-gallon bucket, and have added a pipe to it. Basically, the idea is that we can continuously take out fluid from the collection device without having to worry about it evaporating back into the system. The whole thing had seals applied and everything to prevent it from leaking. And it's arguably one of the most impressive machines I think I've ever built, as it looks quite nice. In fact, some may even say it looks rather professional, but me personally, I think it looks like a trash can with a pipe sticking out of it. As to whether or not this thing is ready to go and functional is, well, that's yet to be seen. After all, our cement is not really designed for this, and it's finally time to find out if this can handle a small quantity of water. Much to my dismay, it was quite a failure, and we could have easily lost around 5 gallons of water. So after assembling everything, it was finally time to add seals to the trash can itself, because we only sealed the bucket off, and yeah, that was just, basically I just dumped the whole thing in there. This was a mistake. Now, what I could have done, which I think would have been better, was to have a cap on it, so that way it could seal into the cap mold, and it would basically, it would fill the cap and not go everywhere inside of there, which was the big issue. Now, the knife made quite some nice grains for us to actually have this stuff adhere to, which worked pretty good, but it was still leaking in one place. Here the PVC cement is actually leaking through and sealing where the leaking holes are, basically. I'm not sure why this stuff is so flowy. It needs to be less flowy, I feel like. However, this is not meant for this, like I said before. It's meant for sealing pipe joints. Now, to attach the new collection apparatus, which is going to be quite over-engineered, we're going to basically take this pipe and attach it like so I can actually have it attached here, because otherwise you'd have to go into the ground, and I don't really know how I would dig a hole that shape and get it perfect. That would be kind of difficult, but digging's actually pretty easy. It would take me like 5 minutes to dig that hole. In fact, digging is my specialty. I have 2 whole trash cans full of dirt. Still, and I don't know what we're gonna do with that. And if you stay tuned till the end, you will get to see those 2 trash cans full of dirt. Why not? Now, the reason we're covering this in tin foil is so we can refract sunlight off of this. As if you were to use a dark color, it would absorb the sunlight, whereas if you use something that reflects the color, like this, it will not absorb the sunlight, and therefore will not heat up as much. In fact, in this case, it really doesn't heat up at all. So it's, I mean, the only thing that heats it up is the ambient temperature, really. And so the next day, when all of the cement had cured and I checked on it, it seemed perfectly fine, so it was time to go. Now, arguably, my favorite part of the process is literally this part here, because this is just such an obscene amount of water. How do you get this much? Well just a thing called snowstorm. If you get very lucky, and you get a snowstorm, you have infinite water. This is not infinite, it's like 33 gallons, apparently, according to this drum. Anyway, we lost probably about a gallon today. Well, not today, this was like yesterday, but technically, some of the footage was filmed today. By today, I mean Tuesday. I actually added more bleach into the system from the previous episode, just to make sure that there's no chance of any bacteria existing, since this is all of the water we have combined, and some of it had not been treated yet, so that's a good thing to do. Now, it's not like it matters if it has bacteria or anything in it. I just don't want it being swamp. I do not want this water to turn into swamp water. Also, the only reason we added bleach water in there is just because we had to clean out some jugs, so we could have even more water moving power. So I had noticed it was leaking and by this point, and I decided to, well, put the thing on it anyway, because why not? We might as well try and see if it can work, and it did not work at all. I don't know, maybe it was not hot enough. I don't think it got to the temperature it needs to operate, or it just didn't have the time it needed to actually collect anything on the top, so... Plus, it was super windy, and wind kept going under there, and it's still very windy. In fact, so you'll see at the end of the video, we've had to do some very quick preparations. Now, pretty early on, after like 2 gallons of water, I noticed that it had sprung a leak somewhere in the system, and I wasn't sure exactly why it was leaking. I just knew it was somewhere on the bottom of the pipe from my angle. I'm no plumber. I don't know how to seal a pipe that's leaking water. There's really no actual way of doing this from what I've found. I tried super glue, duct tape, electrical tape. I don't have any fancy plumbing tape, but that's something else we could try maybe someday. Flex seal. One thing I didn't try was PVC cement, or, well, all-purpose cement in this case. It would not have worked. Oh, did I mention I tried paper towel too? I tried flex taping or flex sealed paper towel. That did nothing either. That just got stuck on it. And here's the problem: is that the seal somehow just popped right out. That's because it didn't get dissolved onto the plastic. It just did not happen like that. It just hardened on top of the plastic, which meant that the water could easily just lift it up or get under it, or the bucket could like misshapen and it could all go down, and then this could get lifted up. There's a lot of ways it could have gone up, but I don't know which one it was. But it was one of them. So, it did not work. So in these final clips of the video, these are recorded today and also tonight, as of Tuesday. So we've tried out the actual system itself, and we're redoing the seal using something very, very special, which actually seems to be pretty decent at adhering to these materials. That being the wonderful substance known as Flex Seal and Repair. This stuff, honestly, is... what the heck is this? Why have I never heard of this before now? But anyway, this stuff is like not a plumber's best friend. It's like a non-plumber's best friend, okay? You see, if you do not do plumbing, then this is clearly for you. It's for me in this case. So yeah, I just seal over some of this stuff, and yeah. Of course, I'm gonna apply like quite a few coats just to make sure it can hold up to like the 200-pound requirement of the amount of water. Yes, it's literally 200 pounds of water is what we have right now. I'm not even measuring it in gallons, it's just pounds because it's unmovable. Now, I've had to tie this thing down because the wind is going to get very ridiculous tonight, and it might just fly away if we don't do that. Or we could have poured water in there, but I don't know if it's going to work, and I want to get that on a good day to film, so not today. Here's my 2 trash cans full of dirt, and of course, nighttime is definitely my favorite time to film. It's just kind of peaceful, you know. And we haven't had a good nighttime shot in a while. We've had a snowstorm shot. I think that was the last time we might have had a nighttime shot. Anyway, like I said in the video, digging is my specialty, and that's why we have 2 of these. I don't know what we're gonna do with this.